Kirsten with Six Figure Business Coaching, and that's Jeannie, my business partner, and we are the co-creators of the Marketing VA Advantage. So Jeannie, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Oh, sure. It's my pleasure to introduce Isabelle Stevenson, and her company is Life Coaching with Isabelle. She's a certified life coach. She teaches people how the brain works and how you can achieve a deeper and healthier relationship with yourself. So Isabelle is here today to talk to us about resilience and why resilience is a crucial part of growth. So thanks for being here, Isabelle.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Isabelle, I feel like we all sometimes define words differently. What does resilience actually mean to you?
We have this little toy, since I love visuals, and they have a rounded, they're wooden and they have a rounded bottom, and you push them down and they always come back up. I'm told they're called weevils.
Weevils, that's right. Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down.
So if you can picture this toy and it gets pushed down, but it doesn't stay down, it always comes back to center. So that's my definition of resilient. Life throws curveballs at you, sometimes more than you think you can handle. And we can talk about reframing words later. But life can be hard sometimes. Life is beautiful sometimes. Life is good. Life is bad. It's what life is. There's never all good and never all bad. It's 50-50. If we didn't have joy, we would never know what sadness is. So we have the opposites, right? So let's say we go through a hard time. You actually develop this resilience because life is pushing you down. Maybe sometimes people, sometimes circumstances, a loss of a job, loss of something, or redirecting life. Anything that comes up, I call it the crossroads in life. And that's why I love to coach women in midlife, because there's many crossroads, right? So you feel like you don't know what to do and you're being pushed down or pushed aside, but then you come back to center. So what's my center? That's really something I need to figure out. How do I become resilient? By finding my center. So for me, resilience is really dealing with those curveballs and finding my center again. And that could mean 1 minute I have to take a deep breath and just go to the next minute. That could mean I have to make a life-changing decision and I have a support system that helps me guide in that decision.
Do you feel like getting back to center is getting back to your core values, like the way you want to live your life?
Yes.
Well, we're at a crossroads. We're often given choices. We get to choose the life we want to live. And hopefully, if you're basing those choices on your core values and the things that are really important to you, it can make it easier to pick yourself back up and head in the direction that you feel like you want to go in. When you're talking to someone about getting back to center, do you often address their core values and what's see for themselves?
Absolutely. Good question, Kirsten. Yes, values is a huge thing in my coaching because we base our decisions on our values. I also deal with women who are like interested in dating again or leaving a marriage and finding someone else. I just recently had a lady, a little bit older, and she was retired and just dating all the wrong guys, if you know what I mean. And I have a whole list of values. It's a super simple list. And I ask them to find their top 10 and then narrow it down to the top 3. And that's when I told her, if the potential future date is not aligning somehow with your top 3 or totally against them, that's a no. That's an easy pass. Because it's not the hobbies and it's not this or that, it's the values that help with a healthy relationship.
That's just so smart, because oftentimes people who come out of a bad relationship can be desperate is probably the wrong word, desperate for that companionship and that friendship and that big hole that's missing.
Yes, and we call that needy. It's almost like the predator knows the prey. Predator knows this woman is needy. Oh, give her some attention. But then she hasn't figured out what her values are yet and who she really is. So I like to dig deep with clients. And this client I had recently, she found her values, she did the homework. She would say, I'm alone, no one cares, and life is hard. But there was 3 of them. So we explored that, and we find out she's not alone. There is a sister and a brother-in-law and a daughter who are all very supportive of her making better decisions in life, right? As soon as she changed some of those old beliefs and got to know herself a little better, she was able to make better decisions. She was actually going out with friends again and making plans to see sister and brother-in-law for Easter and all these things, and going back to her hobby of making jewelry. It was just like finding things that prove your mind that this is true. Because if I believe I'm alone, then your brain will find proof that you are alone. If you tell yourself, I am supported, I have a support system, then your brain finds proof for that, and she found them.
I was gonna say, I feel like I have the same conversation as a business coach with clients, right?
Yes.
So in your situation, it's a divorce. Usually, and I have to say, I think business owners are the most resilient people on the planet, right? Because they have to take risks, they have to put themselves out there, and they're only gonna eat what they kill kind of thing. So if they're not out making money, they're gonna starve to death. And so it's that whole thing of having resilience when maybe you think this client is about to sign and you're so excited and then they don't. So it's really easy to get completely down on yourself and think, oh, I'll never get clients. Yeah. But being able to say that maybe the timing wasn't right for them, and pick yourself up and go out and continue to prospect for new clients. Again, I think it's that core values of you believe in yourself, you believe in your business, you know that what you have to offer is really going to have impact on someone, change them, help them. And I don't care if you're an interior designer or a mover or a coach or a lawyer, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is people, hire us to help them. And so I feel like what I try to get my clients to focus on is getting back to focusing on some of the great clients that they've had that really valued and appreciated them. And one of the things that Jeannie and I try to use is the question, what will it take? What will it take for me to find a new client? What will it take me to find a client who, is excited to do video marketing? What will it take to find a client who will be an awesome boss to their new marketing virtual assistant? What will it take to find a client who sees the value in investing in what we do?
Then again, your brain will look for answers. So you're focusing on the solution and not on the I don't have clients. You could get stuck in that. Once you get a picture, because we can choose who I want to become, that helps you with the decision making, right? I like to tell them there is no right or wrong, because often we're like, oh, what if I make the wrong decision? Then you go from there, and then it's just a learning curve and another curveball, and you get more resilient, because who knows the answer is always 100% correct. I don't.
No one knows.
You try.
Yeah.
You try and you move forward. Actually, that's a good picture. You just keep going and try. I don't want to call it failure, but you might think it wasn't the right decision, then you divert and you keep going. That's resilience too. You just keep getting back up and you keep going. Replace the failure with a learning curve.
Fascinating. Like you said, we all have this vision of who we want to be, because most of us do want to be more successful. We want to be kinder. We want to contribute more to the charities we believe in. And so I love this concept that if you're going to do a trip, let's say you're going to drive from Florida to California, you know where you're going, you know exactly the spot you're going, you're excited to go to Napa Valley, you've seen videos, you've seen images, you are ready to go and you know what to expect. But the bottom line is when you get in the car to go, you don't see Napa Valley. You've got to keep driving and have faith that if you keep driving that car based on the GPS direction, that you are going to arrive in Napa Valley.
Yes.
And I think that's the same for ourselves. You are going to fail sometimes with what you need to do, but you just get back up and you keep going.
So usually people come to me with some kind of problem, but it always goes back to themselves. Let's build you up first, and then you can handle the rest.
Yeah, sometimes we just need that. We just need someone else to remind us what we have accomplished and why we should be looking forward and moving forward.
So for anyone who has gotten that curveball or been knocked over, think about all the things that you have accomplished, because that's going to help you be resilient. It's going to help you get back up faster.
Isabelle, we're so grateful for people like you who help people who need that confidence again to recognize that they are more than what they're feeling at the moment. So thank you everyone for being here. And that's Kirsten Graham, and I'm Jeannie Wilson with Six Figure Business Coaching, and we will be back again next week.